right. So let's get started here. Okay, we're doing it. It's finally happening. We're making the encounter tables for Vagabonds of Dyfed. Yes, I have been incredibly busy, and so I've been putting off working on these because they're a little bit work intensive. However, it's finally happening, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing here. So, first of all, these are encounter tables for a meter mark set game of Vagabonds of Dyfed that I will be running this week. If we look at, well, first maybe I'll show you the map that I'm working with here. So let's go to data and hexkit. Yeah, here we go. So in this hex crawl, the party will be going from up here in Tarn Tanlith down to the Saki Downs. So they'll be crossing over some hills, some grasslands, some rivers, and possibly some mountains, and possibly some forest, and also possibly some coastline here. So this is what I am preparing to make tables for. As far as what Vagabonds of Dyfed has for overland travel, it's fairly basic, I have to say. So I'm having to make some modifications to make a hex crawl interesting. I think in the case of doing a rather basic overland travel approach, you could not really have many problems, but I feel like I do need to add a little bit of things here and there to make this sufficiently interesting. So, travel and dungeoneering. So what do? You split the party up into different roles, like torchbearer, scouting ahead, surveying or map drawing, rear guard, hidden reaction force, or quartermaster. And then the GM selects one PC to be the focus of this turn. The PC should rotate focus. The focus PC rolls, keeping in mind their action. So on a 6-, there's a calamitous event. On a 7 to 9, there's a problem, but the focus PC can see it coming, warn the party, or affect its onset. On a 10 to 12, everything goes as planned, and on a 13+, everything goes very smoothly because of the focus PC's perception or quick thinking. So that is fine. I'm going to be using that move for sure. They have some suggestions here for how things can go. And I specifically, for hex crawl purposes, am quite interested in what the scout does, right? Maybe the guard, what the guard does. The surveyor getting lost, that kind of thing. So, over longer journeys in which the GM has nothing particularly interesting planned, a travel turn can be zoomed out from several times a day to just once a day, or even once for the entire journey. The more often the party rolls for travel turns, the more dangerous, time-consuming, and narratively important the area they're traveling through is. So, in this case, on flat, open terrain, the party will be able to traverse 2 hexes in one day, because they're going to be mounted on horseback. So, normally in a hex crawl, being mounted on horseback gives you 1.5 times movement speed, but I'm going to just say like double for the purposes of simplicity. So you know, if say the party rolls a 13+, right, and they're just going to move those 2 hexes no problem, right, for the day. Now, if they're going to traverse some hills, they'll still be moving at double speed, which means they'll be able to clear the hills in one day. Because, you know, obviously horses are really good at traversing pretty much any kind of terrain out there. Like, at least they're better in every possible way than humans at doing it. So it's not like there's going to be terrain that gives a disadvantage to horses. Unless, of course, you were, like, going through some swamp, in which case you maybe would take a boat, in which case, you know, you'd use a different movement rule. You wouldn't be mounted on horseback. Okay. So, weather and hazards. If your game prominently features wilderness exploration, for example, a hex crawl or military campaign, weather and environmental hazards will be significant in your party's challenges and experiences. Weather events or hazards can be handled in several ways: as a obstacle for each PC to roll through, as combat, treating hazards or elements as enemies, or using the custom weather rules. So I'm pretty much going to have to play it by ear which of these I use. This one would be kind of like severe weather, maybe. Might use this move. So obviously I'm going to need a weather table of some kind. I don't think Meter Mark gives us a weather table as such. So let's take a look. Unfortunately, the PDF of this text is not fantastic. It's a little bit hard to navigate. Seasons and weather. Oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, so that's spring weather, summer weather. Awesome. So yeah, we can totally use this this weather table from Meter Mark. That is fantastic. Great. So which season do we suppose this might be? I kind of feel like it's either spring or autumn is kind of what I'm feeling here. Not really feeling summer. And I'm not really feeling winter either. So let's say spring. Spring begins on the first day of the Einmonad, the day after the Dissablot sacrifice and the Disting market. The Dissablot is held in thanks to the Lords of Plenty and Want and the Lords of Fate, who have a prominent place in the shrines of all longhouses for seeing the family through another winter. Spring tends to be cool, wet, and windy. Towards the end of the season, as Harpa gives way to Sigrun, the days become clearer and warmer, though nights remain cool and snowstorms are not unheard of, especially in the mountains. The melting snow and glacial ice cause rivers and streams to swell, and waterfalls become common, all causing the ground to become waterlogged and muddy. Trees begin to flower, and every field and meadow becomes carpeted with wildflowers in a riot of vivid colors. Sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so let's use the spring weather table. So let's just go ahead and straight up import that into my Google Doc because it will make for easier reference. So we'll just go weather, and it's 3d6, so it's 12, 3. How many cells do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 11 cells. Okay. So 11 cells, one of which will be the title. Okay, so let's insert a table. It is 2 by 11. Here we go. Okay. Let's do this. So, Oops. 3d6 roll. The season is var, or spring. I'm gonna have to bone up on my pronunciation again. 3, 4 to 5. I've been practicing Swedish to try to get into the mood, but I still have a long way to go. Cool. Right, so those are the numbers, and then we have cold snaps, thunderstorms, or thunder snow. Thank you very much. Snow, fog, gale, blustery wind, rain, clear and cool, storm, or heat wave. Nice. Okay, and then this can all be center aligned. Okay, and then this is going to be, give it a black background. And the text color, background color, here we are. Text color is white. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So this is a 3d6 roll, and we have our weather set up for us. Great. Okay, so that takes care of the weather. I'm going to roll that once per day. That's going to be independent of how the party rolls for their wayfinding and stuff. Cool. So next, there's not really much to it, right? So I need to add some stuff to make this more interesting. So my basic plan, I wrote it out. Be right back. I'll get it. Notebook. Wrote this on the train. Okay, here we go, yeah. So, let's say the scout fails their roll. Then we'll have an encounter, right? The encounter will take us to a table. Okay. So it'll take us to a table, and we'll roll on one of these tables. Roll a d10. So we'll say roll a d10. Okay, so on the lowest possible results, we're going to get stuff from the Meter Mark book, encounters from Meter Mark. And the reason why I chose to do that is because there's not a lot of creatures in here. And a lot of them are sort of like mountain dwelling. And we're going to spend a lot of time on the grasslands. So what I chose to do is we're gonna roll on this table, and if we get one of the Meter Mark creatures, that's fine. I've statted them out already for Vagabonds of Dyfed. And if we get 5 to 10, then I roll right. Here we go. I use this website, and I'm going to roll up a creature. Yeah. Right? So, oh, it's, you run into a human bee wasp hawk falcon hybrid, or whatever. Like, this just automatically does the tables from Perilous Wilds for me. So this is going to be sort of like more generic fantasy creatures, and the more severe encounters will be the ones that are actually from Meter Mark. So I've done that for grasslands, the river, mountains, and then I need to do forest, coast, and hills still. Once the encounter has been determined, then I'm going to roll on a disposition table, which I will take from Macchiato Monsters. If I got it here. Which some of you may remember I ran earlier in the year for the playtest of the adventure that will be coming out very soon in Gauntlet Codex Storm. So here we are, Macchiato Monsters. The reaction table. So monsters react according to the situation and their agenda. When encountered, they should always be busy doing or looking for something. If the referee isn't sure, they can roll the current encounter risk die on the table below. Checking Charisma is a good way to see if monsters are immediately aggressive, cautious, or open to parley. But yeah, there's going to be a reaction table that the players can roll on. And I will just sort of put that into the document right now because I'm going to be using this a lot. I don't know if I'm going to... I don't think I'm going to use a morale table. I think that is... it's not really a Vagabonds of Dyfed thing. So, we got the weather table. And then we're going to have the reaction table. And this is a D12. And I'm not going to use risk dice for this. Because this game does not use them. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll get insert row below, 11 and 12. Okay. So, I'm gonna copy these over. And again, this is not necessary to roll on, but if I'm looking for some help, some GM help, I can roll on this. And we'll see if we maybe can change these reactions to be a little bit more meter marky. Oops, that's not right. There's 5. It's like, what the hell? Okay. So yes, for you just joined, we are working on getting the reaction table ready, which will determine how creatures react to the party when they roll up an encounter on the hex map, which you can see here. It's going to be this kind of deal. And by the way, this map is going to have Fog of War on Roll20. So like at the start, the players will only really have access to this part of the map, and they'll know that they're headed for here and here. But other than that, they won't be able to see anything, and as they go, like, say they get up onto high ground, they might get a little bit extra vision. But normally they're just going to be able to see the map, the hex they're in on flat ground. So there will be some, like, stumbling around in the dark, because they don't, like, unless they get a good map, right? If they get a good map, then that'll help them out. But, yeah. That is a thing that is happening. There will be navigational challenges. Okay, what's the next one? Number 8. Scavenging or hunting? Exploring. Fighting amongst themselves. Resting or setting camp. And finally, looking for goods or gold to trade. Okay, cool. So now we have a reaction table. So anything we really don't want in here. Looking for allies or help. I don't know. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, so that's cool. That's done. So we have the reaction table and the weather table finished. And we are going to go on to do the forest table here. All right. Okay, so let's look at what we have in this table and see if there's anything that would still make sense to be in the forest. So the previous one was the mountains. The Linarm is a big dragon thing. I don't think it hangs out in forests. Most are found at sea. Some lair in hills and mountains and terrorize the countryside. So no, this is not going to be in the forest. Okay, next, the Bergusar. I think this is also not a forest creature. which I believe is a giant. Yeah, it's a giant, mountain giant, basically, hill giant. Can speak to mountains, which is pretty cool. The Hellgite, which is a hell goat. It's not inconceivable that they would be in a forest, so, maybe. Bjorning Huskarls, maybe. Like, it's not, yeah, again, not inconceivable that you might meet some in the forest. Maybe reduce the number. I don't think it would be that common, so we'll say D4. A troll bear, sure, no problem. Troll eagle, sure, no problem. So let's see if there's any other, let's say, forest creatures that we might run into here. The Nicker is water spirit, so probably not. It's not impossible, but I feel like it's more of a river thing. The Siorisar, sea giants, no. Hill giants, no. Aurochs, not really. Eagles, no. Squirrel, sure, why not, right? Troll squirrel totally makes sense. This giant nests in mid-Mather and is an inveterate spy with access to all the worlds. It hoards secrets like earthly squirrels hoard nuts. Sometimes it can even be convinced to share. Okay, cool. So now we need to make a stat block for our troll squirrel. So that's gonna be a thing. I feel like we can probably move this down to here, and maybe the troll bear and the troll eagles. Okay, and then we'll put the troll squirrel here. So, okay, so now we need to look at a combination of the meter mark text and Vagabonds of Dyfed to sort of figure out roughly what kind of stats it might have. So, the troll squirrel to drive it off is easy. To capture it is very hard. To convince it is somewhat hard. But you can't flee it. So maybe it's just because it's like not scary enough to flee. I don't know. And you can't kill it either. It's very difficult to convert the stat blocks from meter mark to Vagabonds of Dyfed because the stats in meter mark are just so different from D&D. So it really takes a lot of sort of thought to get it to do this. So let's take a look at Vagabonds of Dyfed. We know its main thing is that it can climb, burrow, and steal secrets. Okay. Making enemies. Here we are. But it can't fly. It's not a flying squirrel. Right. No, it's just a giant squirrel. Okay. So, because it can't fly, that's going to definitely affect its speed. So, the speed, it says here, feel like its speed would probably be normal, so it probably has a speed of 0. Don't think it's especially fast. Its damage, what I've usually been using to think about the damage is the kill conflict stat. But because it doesn't have one, I'm thinking it's not very high. It's not that tough. So it's probably... Oh, we can do the HP first. I would say it's probably tough, like 25 HP. Forgot to do HP for some of these guys. That sucks. Okay, the damage mod. Damage mod on these guys, probably like +4. I think its armor is pretty high because it can like burrow and stuff. So like maybe a 2 armor. And then it gets its tags, which are climbing, burrowing, stealing secrets. And we'll see if there's any other things that might apply to it. I don't really think so. Oops, that's not correct. Oh, it's probably sneaky. Sneaky, I think, would apply. So let's give it sneaky. And we'll see if it has any other abilities. I don't think so. So yeah, I think it's sneaky. Stealing secrets, sneaky. Cool. Okay, so let's get the HP sorted out for these guys here, because that's no good. They don't have any HP. Yeah, making these stat blocks is really time-consuming. It is not the most fun. Kind of wish I could just run Meter Mark, but I mean run Torchbearer, but it's just too slow. It's too slow for a Gauntlet game. So we'll say probably the Troll Bear probably has like an HP of like 39. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Okay, Troll Eagles. I don't know, like 20. Okay, so those are statted, and then we need to add that here. Or wait, we need to do the Bjorning Husk Rolls as well. So do they get some... No, I forgot to do their HP all the way up here too. So much HP to do. Okay. It's not the end of the world. say like, I don't know, 18 a pop. And we got to make sure we get this to all these. And this one too. And finally this one. Okay. Cool. What else are we missing here? Got the Helgite, Bergisar, Lenorm. The Got Ridders. Readers, yeah, readers. Probably like 25. 25 seems about right. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, so did the troll squirrel. Let's see if there's one more monster that'll fit in here from meter mark. Then I gotta get going probably. Maybe not. I don't think so. Maybe a Droger. I could kind of see that. Yeah, why don't we throw a Droger in there? Okay. Droger. Cool. Forest encounter table finished. We have 2 left to go. But I think I'm going to wrap the stream there. So probably Tuesday I'll be finishing this up. I think I'm basically ready. Oh boy. Let's hope for the best. So thanks to those of you who watched. Appreciate it. And I will be back with more streaming soon. Should actually have this game of Vagabonds of Dyfed up on my channel. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I hope you check that out. And there'll be more to come soon. So I will see you next time.